Hello students, welcome to this video lecture on isometric projections. I, Anthony Augustine, in this video would be discussing the isometric projection problem of two solids kept one above another. Following is the problem statement. Draw the isometric projection for the given assembly. A circular slab of diameter 80 mm and thickness 30 mm resting on its circular base on HP. A pentagonal prism, side of base 30 and height 50 mm, resting centrally on top of the circular face of circular slab with one of the sides of base of prism perpendicular to VP. We also need to construct an isometric scale assuming suitable length. So from these statements, we derive the important data, that is diameter and thickness of circular slab and the base side and height of the pentagonal prism. Also important is that one of the sides of base of prism is perpendicular to the vertical plane. We also need to construct the isometric scale. So we now move on to the overview of the problem. We have now written down the important data and we proceed with the isometric scale. We first draw the axis and line inclined at 45 and 30 degrees. On the line inclined at 45 degrees, we take divisions with an interval of 1 centimeter. These represents the true length. From these divisions, we drop vertical onto the line inclined at 30 degree and find the intersecting points. These points or division represent the isometric length. We will be using these isometric lengths for construction of our problem. We start the construction by first drawing a pentagon of isometric side length 30, which we measure on the isometric scale from the origin to point 3. After having drawn the pentagon, we find the center of the pentagon by drawing angle bisectors, and the intersection gives us the center of the pentagon. Through this center, we'll draw a horizontal and vertical and enclose this pentagon within a rectangle as shown. Now about the center of the pentagon, we'll draw a circle with a radius of 40 on isometric length. So from this origin up to point 4, we'll take the radius and draw the circle. And then we'll enclose this circle within a square. This is the reference figure which we will be utilizing for constructing the solids. I begin the construction by drawing horizontal and drawing the isometric axis inclined at 30 degrees on either side. Now, from the reference figure, I take distance on my compass. Along the x-axis, I take the distance and I transfer it along one of the isometric axis. Along the y-axis on the reference figure, I take distance of the square, outermost square, and transfer it onto the other axis. So I take distances on the isometric axis. Now I'll be taking distances on isometric lines, which are lines parallel to this axis. So through these endpoints, I'll be drawing lines parallel to the lines which I have already drawn, and this square is converted into a rhombus now, because I have drawn it along isometric axis or lines parallel to the isometric axis. Now I'll be using 4 center method to find the circle. So within this rhombus, we get the circle using 4 center method, and then we'll find the center of the rhombus. The center we'll locate by joining the midpoints of opposite side and taking distance from the reference figure. Next, About the center, we'll draw a vertical on which we'll measure a distance of isometric length 30. So the circular slab thickness is 30. So on the isometric scale, we take isometric length of 30 and draw vertical through the center of the base circle. Now, the top point represents the center of the top circular face of the circular slab, through which I will be drawing the isometric axis, and on it I will be taking the distance from the reference figure, that is the outermost square. So I will be drawing again the outermost square, which is converted into a rhombus in isometric, and I again utilize the 4 center method. So the finding of center of sides, the finding of diagonal, the finding of intersection with the diagonal, location of 2 centers, and using the obtuse angle corners to draw the arcs. So the 4 center method I utilize again and find the top circle. Now I draw tangents between the top and the bottom circle, and now I have got the cylindrical slab through construction. I am removing the construction line to show the top face and the center. So about the center, I will be utilizing the same isometric axis, and now I have to construct about it the rectangle for the pentagonal construction, for the pentagon which represents the base of pentagonal prism, side 30. So using this reference figure, I construct the rectangle about the isometric axis and find the points of the pentagon on the rectangle. So I have been transferring distances from the reference figure onto the isometric axis or isometric lines. I'll join the pentagonal sides, and my pentagon is now available. From the corners of the pentagon, I'll draw verticals. Now what is the height of the prism? The height of the prism is 50 mm. So I take a length of isometric 50, isometric length of 50 from the isometric scale. So from the origin to 0.5, the isometric length I take, and I mark the distances on the vertical through the corners. I'll join the endpoints of these vertical lines, and I'll be getting the top pentagonal face of the prism. I erase the lines which are on the back side, and this is the output figure that we desire. So now we move on to the actual problem solving. So the actual problem solving starts with writing the data on top, and we'll start with the construction of the isometric scale. So I draw the horizontal line, and from a point on the horizontal line, I take angles of 30, 45 and 90 degrees. I draw lines vertical at an angle of 30 and 45 degrees as shown. On the line, I'll be checking whether all the angles are perfectly taken, and on the line inclined at 45 degrees, I take divisions of 1 centimeter each. So I'm marking all the divisions. So I'll be writing values in millimeters for convenience sake. So instead of 1, 2, 3, I'll be using 10, 20, 30 in millimeters. Up to 80 millimeters I might require, which represent true length. Now these lengths I am taking on line inclined at 45 degrees. The lower line which is inclined at 30 degrees, represent the isometric length line on which I'll be dropping verticals through point 30, 40, 50 and 80, which I would be using for construction purpose. The other lengths I am not requiring, so I am not marking or dropping perpendiculars to other points. So these are the isometric lengths that I would be using, and this is the isometric scale. Now using these isometric length, I'll be constructing reference figure. So I'll be first drawing the reference figure of a pentagon. So I draw horizontal and I take side of the pentagon equal to isometric length of 30, and I mark this distance on the horizontal. This is point AB, which represents the distance of isometric length of 30. I take through point A and B angle of 108 on either side as shown, and I'll be using the same isometric 30 length and finding the corners of the pentagon through construction. I join the endpoints with dark lines to complete the pentagon. Now to find the center of the pentagon, which I have named A, B, C, D and E, I'll be needing the center of the sides, which is 15 mm. So on the true length, I mark a distance of 15 mm and drop a vertical onto the isometric length line. I take this isometric 15 mm length on the compass and find the midpoint of the sides of the pentagon. I connect this midpoint to the corner of the opposite side. So I connect the corner to the midpoint of opposite side and find the intersection of two such bisectors, which is the midpoint. Through this center, I'll be drawing a circle of isometric length 40. Now, I'll be drawing tangents which are horizontal and vertical to the circle. This outermost circle represents the top and bottom faces of the cylindrical sap. I'll be naming the points of the square which encloses the circle PQRS. Next, I'll be enclosing the pentagon in a rectangle, and the outermost points I'll be naming 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we move on to the isometric axis construction. So I'll be drawing the isometric axis by first taking a point on the horizontal and using the protractor to mark angles of 30 degree on either side, plus the vertical I may also take. So I'll be drawing the isometric axis first at an inclination of 30 degrees as shown. Now I'll be taking distances from the reference figure P to Q, and with P as center, mark it on the one of the isometric axis. Similarly, from P, I take distance up to S and mark it on the other axis. I use the same distance from Q and S, and the intersection of arcs gives me point R. So this is the rhombus which I have obtained by transferring the X and Y distances on the reference figure onto the isometric axis. Now I try to find the center of the sides of this rhombus. So I take it from the reference figure and mark it and locate the sides of the rhombus. Now, through the acute angle corners of the rhombus, I draw a diagonal line joining both of them. Through the obtuse angle corner, I draw a line joining the midpoint of the opposite side. The intersections give me points through which I will be drawing arcs by 4 cm method. So through the obtuse angle corner, I take distance up to the midpoint of the opposite side and draw an arc like this. Now utilizing the other point, obtuse angle point, I take distance up to the midpoint of the other opposite side and I will be drawing faint arc. Now through the intersecting points, I take distance up to the midpoint of side and draw arcs like this to complete the lower circular part. I will be joining the midpoints of sides to find the center of the rhombus. And through the center, I will be drawing the axis. So the axis is a chain line which I am drawing, and along which I would be taking a distance of isometric 30 mm length. So this length I will be measuring on the isometric scale. So isometric 30 on the vertical I am marking, and I find the center of the top circular face of the circular slab. I lighten or erase the construction so that I am able to draw the second plane. So at this point I draw again the isometric axis inclined at 30 degrees. So I draw parallel lines to the earlier axis I had constructed, and using the radius of isometric 40, that is of the radius of the circle in reference figure, I mark arcs on these isolines which are inclined parallel to the isometric axis. So I have marked 4 arcs from the center, and through these markings which I have done, I will draw lines parallel to the isometric axis. So I will be getting the top rhombus construction in which I will be drawing the isometric circle which represent the top face of the cylindrical slab. So this rhombus is the square which would encompass or enclose the top circle face. Now again I will be using the 4 center method. I will be joining the acute angle corners with a diagonal, and through the obtuse angle I will be drawing lines which connect to the midpoints of the opposite side. The intersection of these lines with the diagonal I will be using for 4 center method construction. So these are the 2 centers. From the obtuse angle corners, I will be taking distance up to the midpoint of the opposite side and draw an arc. So the front arc would always be dark. The arc on the back side I will be making faint, but the side arc I will be drawing. So before drawing, I just erase the unnecessary things. Now using the centers I have obtained earlier, I draw arcs as shown. The arc on the back side I will be making bit light because here the prism would come. So I have completed both top and bottom circles. So I will be drawing tangents to both the circles, which are elliptical circles or isometric circles which in elliptical form. And now my base circular slab is complete. I erase the unnecessary construction so that I may use the space and the center of the circular slab to draw the pentagonal prism. So now I take distances from the reference figure about the center and locate the points on the isometric lines I am drawing from the centermost point of the circular slab. So these are the isometric lines I am drawing, lines inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal. On it I take the distance from center to point D, which is perpendicular, located on the perpendicular to PQ. So point D is located on the isometric axis perpendicular to line PQ on the base. Through this point D, I will be drawing horizontal, and then I will find the rectangle construction using the reference figure. So I will be drawing the rectangle construction using the reference figure distances. Now I take the distance from the reference figure again to find the last side of the rectangle in isometric projection. So this completes the rectangle which encloses the pentagon in isometric projection, which I had named 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I will be taking distances on this square or isometric rectangle to be exact and mark it on the isometric projection view. So I am marking the distances on the isometric projection, the reference figure being used to measure the actual distance of points. So I have found all the points on the pentagon ABCDE, and I will be joining all the points with dark lines. Remember, the points or edges on the back side would be kept faint because they would be hidden from the front portion. So I will be drawing faint lines on the back side. So I have got the pentagon on the top circular face, and through these corners I will be drawing verticals. The height of the pentagon is 50, so I will be taking the distance of 50 on these vertical lines. Now I take distance of 50 mm, which is the height of pentagon prism, on my compass, and I mark distances on the vertical drawn through the corners of the pentagon. All the points on these verticals, that is the 5 points, I will be joining using vertical dark lines. So the lines which are on front, I will be making them dark because they are visible from the front. Now I complete the top plane, which is a pentagon. So I join all the points on the top face with dark lines. So this is the pentagonal prism. The edges on the back side I have not drawn or made them very faint because those are just constructions and can't be seen from the front. I complete the projection by drawing the direction of view from the front. So remember, the edge, one of the edge of the pentagon is perpendicular to VP, hence the direction of view is kept such that one of the edge is perpendicular to the direction of view. This is the required solution. So I hope you are able to draw the problem. Thank you for your patient listening.